Now at the moment our array consists of values including this inc.php thing, or file extension if you like. So what we need to do is we need to create our condition carefully to include this .inc.php, and therefore the file will actually exist. So we're checking the file exists before we include it, which is really important. Like I said, if we were to allow the user to just include a file based on what they typed, they could do ... and they could include files in other directories, etc. But we're only taking data from this pages folder here, where just our content is stored. So if in underscore array, we're using this in array function, which is going to search for a particular value in an array, and if it's found, it's going to return true. So we can say if in array, and we can search for this value p inside our array, and if it's true, we can continue and include our file for security. So we're only including the file if it's found as well, and then otherwise we can produce that error message we saw earlier with sorry not found. So we need to include the p, and we also need to concatenate on .inc.php. So we're searching for this value here, which at the moment would be this value here, so about us .inc.php, and this is found, so this would return true, but otherwise would return false. So we're searching for that inside our pages variable array. So we're taking two arguments in this function. So we've searched for the specific page specified inside our array, which only contains the files that we've included in our pages folder for security, and now that's true, we can include it. So all we need to do is say include, and we can include, let's go ahead and use brackets, let's say include, and we need to say pages dir, remember that's equal to pages up here, pages dir dot, and then what we need is a /, and then p, and then we need to concatenate .inc.php. So we've included pages / about us .inc.php, for example, but obviously this dynamically changes depending on what's specified here and here. So we've included that if we found our element in our array, and then otherwise we need to say echo sorry, page not found. Okay, so let's go and test this out now. Let's go back to our index.php. You can see that nothing's appeared. We'll deal with that in a moment because we want to include a default file for just landing on our index.php page. If I click About Us, you can see that the content from aboutus.inc.php has been displayed. If I click on Contact Us, you can see the same thing happens. We've included contactus.inc.php. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking this value here and we're adding inc.php onto it, checking if it exists within our accepted list of files, and then we are processing it and including it onto our page. And like you can see now, the same works with news. Now let's go ahead and type in a page that won't be found, so not found. You can see that it says sorry, page not found. So everything's working. We know that this is secure because we're only including a selected amount of files depending on what's in our pages folder. But there's one problem. We need to create a default page for when our users land on our main home page, so index.php. At the moment this is set to home.inc.php, so we can just do this as standard. I'm creating an else block off of the end of if not empty. This essentially means that we haven't provided p equals something. We've just not, it's basically empty. So it is empty, so we need to include pages dir dot / home.inc.php, and that's this home.inc.php here. So let's go back to our page and refresh. Oh, okay, so pages dir. I see. What I've done here is I've declared this variable inside this check here. So if I was to put that inside, it's not going to be valid or it's not going to be set this value unless it's not empty. So just by putting that on the outside, now we can reference this in this block here. So hopefully that makes sense. That's my mistake. Okay, so now we have welcome and we have our home.inc.php page included by default. So now what we've done is we've successfully created dynamic pages based on one single design. Now there are a couple of problems with this. The first problem is well, there's one problem I can think of to mind, and the first problem is the only problem I can think of is search engine optimization. Now it's fair enough creating a website like this, however what happens is you're going to need to dynamically also update meta content and titles and things like that. So I'm not going to be covering that in this tutorial, but if you're creating a simple web page, something that just requires an easy design, a template that allows you to just include files in, and you want something that's really easy to manage and easy to use and quick as well, then this is probably the best solution. So that is dynamic pages in PHP.